So at UserGems, we try to incorporate every element of our product into how we do marketing. And we've been doing it a lot longer than other people have even had available for themselves internally for our customers. So I'm going to dive into exactly how we're doing it and how we've been doing ABM for the past 5 years and how it's changed over time. When we first started ABM for us was what everybody else was doing. We were selecting off of firmographics and some vague intent and some high level selection criteria. We saw success early with that. It decreased over time. And then we saw an uptick when we incorporated signals into how we selected accounts. This is a lot to look at first, but this is how we view signal based marketing at UserGems. It's kind of a layer cake approach where every single layer starts with that signal. Um, the ones you already know us for, like past champions, new hires, promotions, and then new stuff like contact level intent, custom signals, like if you have event attendees or registrations that you want to incorporate into Gemmy messaging or the ad side, de-anonymized website visitors, etc. Every single one of these signals has that outbound campaign element with Gemmy that like Mark and Steve went over with you guys. But there's the final piece here that Steve briefly touched on, which is the LinkedIn ads piece. Every single time we have a signal, we try to incorporate it into how we do LinkedIn marketing at the ad level, grouping contacts by their shared signals, especially if it's a high intent or timely signal like this. Looking at this holistically, though, we incorporate all of these signals into how we run our account based marketing program, account scoring, account selection. When you sign up with UserGems automatically takes a look at all of your closed won deals, your customers, and starts identifying what signals match between all of them at the account level, similarity, contact level, etc. And what we view for how we view ABM, fit and firmographics is table stakes when it comes to account scoring and account selection. Everybody is doing it at some level, and it really doesn't move the needle. It's just kind of that baseline where you have to be. So UserGem still does that. You can still view what percentage of your customers have these fit and firmographic signals, what's the ratio to non, etc. But where the magic really happens with ABM is selecting accounts how a top 1% rep would using contact level signals. Every single one of these accounts needs a reason to engage. Too many reps are used to traditional, I'll say it, Sixth Sense style ABM, where people are on the rep side are past accounts by marketing that have just vague intent. And they're now tasked with finding the person at that account that is the decision maker who maybe made that account, quote unquote, surge, etc. And so many teams I talk to, reps are burnt out and they're not bought into ABM programs. To flip the script on that, you have to change how marketing and sometimes even sales is selecting those accounts. So for us, that means finding those past champions, the web de-anonymized website visitors, intent at the contact level to kind of push things over the line, high intent website views. Were they at the same events as you? Give them the reasons to engage. But then another point here is give Gemmy the ammo it needs to write that messaging for your reps. So now on the sales side of marketing, you have reps that have reasons to engage with the emails written, ready to go. So now the sales side of ABM is taken care of. This is so important because we keep seeing over and over again that ABM is viewed as ABM equals advertising, and that is just not the case. ABM, or as we're calling it, ABX, needs to have sales plus marketing working in tandem. And even if you are using a Sixth Sense passing account intent over to the reps, and now they're digging through a Zoom info to try and find these contacts, there's still a disconnect between what marketing is doing and what sales is doing. So for us, what we're doing is building these contact level audiences here at the top that have the exact contacts that you were selected based off of those signals. And we're pushing it to that outbound flow where the emails are written for them. It's updating the CRM. It's pushing to sequence. Your rep doesn't have to work out of UserGems. They're working out of where they've always worked out of: Outreach, Gong Engage, Sales Loft, anywhere on that side. And then on the UserGems marketing side of things, we're pushing that exact same contact list to LinkedIn advertising. So not only is it advertising to the same people, but you have that spend efficiency where we're advertising and hitting the impressions of the exact same people that have received those emails on the sales side. Now, what does this mean in terms of impact? Lucky for y'all, we did it ourselves, which was a blast seeing this dip in pipeline in terms of how we selected accounts. So yes, we missed out on some pipeline on our side, but we were able to show the results for y'all. We run ABM at scale, 500 plus accounts every single month, and we select all of those accounts based off of these signals. For a test, we actually ran our exact same program with an untested account list that was not based off of signals. And you can see the dip in the hand raisers and the actual demos completed, which is really interesting, but also a really tough meeting to have with your CEO explaining why this happened. Um, so for us, it improves the conversion by 50 to 60% and helps that alignment with marketing and ADR teams. On the marketing side, in terms of the improvements, we actually measure it more of how much volume can we do with the exact same person. So our ABM program is at scale, and we run it essentially with one ops person, Alexa on the amazing paid media ABM side of things, and our ADR team. It's a very lean program in terms of headcount, yet it accounts for about 37 and it's probably going to be about 40% of our close one revenue every single year. This is because of how much it takes out of the process of the account selection and aligning with sales. So in the past, what this typically looked like was selecting accounts, aligning with sales, and then the process of creating ads, landing pages, reporting. Um, what it looks like for us now, though, is a very brief stint of selecting those high scored accounts with UserGems, pushing them over to the outbound side of that branch that we just showed back there. Um, and things launch on the first of the month. We run 30 days on our ABM program every single month. And again, we're converting 9 to 10 within that month and even more outside that initial 30-day attribution window. Going into the next stage. So this is outside of our kind of aggregated scoring ABM program, and it's more of the layer cake approach that I discussed at the beginning, where we're taking each individual signal, we're putting them into the Gemmy side of the outbound, and then we're advertising to those individual contacts that match that signal together. So for us, with past champions. This means saying, hey, congrats on the new role. You had a lot of wins with us in the past. Let's do it again. It means because this is a very timely signal and UserGems does surface it up so quickly, we can serve up stuff for the first 90 days in whatever role they have. Same with new hires and promotions. Very similar messaging here. Stay in front of them while they're receiving that outbound from Jemmy. And again, make them feel comfortable in their role, serve some value. Don't start asking for gated content when you can. Use the website DAnon for that. See who's coming to the website. The next one I'll touch on is actually that revive, close, lost play. So again, any one of these signals can be pushed through as an audience as long as you have that 300-person count in that audience. We're doing it for revive, close, lost as well. So we're saying, hey, we've been busy since we last talked. We've had some work done. A lot has changed since we talked. What we've seen work really well for contact-based or signal-based marketing is calling out that signal directly. There's no need to be shy about why you are contacting them because they know that they were revive, close, lost. They were involved in that deal. Your reps are probably already reaching out to them again with this exact same signal. So call it out directly and use it that way. The last one I'll go over here is actually on the AE side. So for us, Jemmy is actually helping our AEs multi-thread. So it's not only is it saying, yeah, these contacts have signals, but it's also saying, hey, we just surfaced all of these accounts, or I mean, all these contacts at this account that you have an open op with. Here's the reasons to engage with them. Hey, I wrote the emails for you. Here you go, AE, send that off. We do it autopilot. Some people do co-pilot where they can review the email and send off on their own. But what we're doing on the marketing side, again, viewing this as two branches, outbound branch and marketing branch, is we're marketing to these exact same contacts. So we're saying, hey, you had this is supposed to be playing as a GIF, but what we're doing on these is saying, hey, sales, hey, marketing, hey, rev ops, whatever those other personas are at that account that we want to reach out to, your team is talking with us about X. Do you want to join the next call? Again, this is one of those situations where we ran it on our own as a split test. We did about 8 months. Half of our CRM was split tested with multi-threading, half was not. We saw higher win rates, bigger deal sizes, more prospects involved in the deals, and shorter sales cycles by pushing this multi-thread play through marketing. So again, align with every piece of your team with marketing. It's not just advertising, it's sales plus marketing every single time. And the last piece I'll get into is that tech stack for UserGems. So again, very similar to the other ones. We on the data and signal side of things, we're using our own CRM data very, very heavily. Account and contact acquisition, the only source for every single one of our contacts and accounts is UserGems. So if you're a UserGems customer, we're not just surfacing those with signals, we're also surfacing all those net new accounts that look like your ICP, that look like that scoring model. We're surfacing that white space for your reps so they can multi-thread to those contacts so you can target them on the marketing side. First party signals, again, just like everybody else is using, and then third party signals through UserGems to pipe them into the command center, which again is signal orchestration, account contact scoring that goes into those two branches. I'm going to keep hitting this of like, it's not just sales and it's not just marketing. You have to hit them in tandem. So again, AI research and email with UserGems, sequencing through outreach and instantly, dialing with the people at Orem. And another thing I'll add here too is we have that Chrome extension for all the reps. So that means when they go to dial, they have the Chrome extension with those contacts pulled up. They're all of the reasons to engage for that call teed up for them already. And then on the marketing side, ad audiences, ad campaigns, gifting through Sendoso, classic Canva and Descript for the ads and videos, and GPT for a lot of the copy and website through Webflow. So hope that was a good amount of information for y'all. Always feel free to reach out to me directly if you have any questions about this. But if you missed any part of my section, if you missed any part of Mark or Steve or Austin's session, request a demo down below. We have a demo call to action down here. If you're not a customer, check it out, run a data test with UserGems, see what signals are missing, what your CRM looks like, etc. And if you are a customer, let's get you in with a referral. We pay out $100 for those gift cards for booked meetings through referrals. We pay out 10% of the deal size there. So help fund that Christmas list a little bit more.